I'm going to try and do another test to see what's happening. Hold on. 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 Stupid sheet. Okay. Alright. Let me see. The live function. Or am I echoing? Okay, we're not echoing. That's good. But the game is still not fucking popping through. Alright, let's see. Gonna mesh properly. Because the game captured in all the other streams. I have no idea what the hell's going on. Alright, how about now? That doesn't do anything. Okay. Alright, okay, the microphone is back. I'm gonna talk all these other things, see what happens. Okay, they don't hear the game. Still don't hear it. Still don't hear it. And I have no idea what this is. Alright, so we're gonna so I'm gonna make a new scene and see if that helps. Like, I'm sure I have the microphone just loud, or is it just me? I'm trying to turn it down a little bit. We're just gonna copy and paste everything. See if that's gonna help. And then there was sound. Okay, I'm picking a lot of error feedback on this. Again, I'm sorry I had to do this. That's just turning it more. That turn it down a little bit more. Is there a way to mute this so you guys don't hear it? Because I don't want to be blowing out your ears. I'm not that much of an asshole, I swear. Let me just turn the game up. Turn the game up. And I'll turn this thing down. There we go. That's like a good balance, I think. And then I can turn this back up. And you sit down. Okay. Alright, so I think we got everything good. Let me just report everything back. And mostly this beautiful handsome mug. Bring that over here. Let's bring chat and alert. Okay, we're good. I got it. Don't you just love it when a plan doesn't come together? It's almost like the universe when it's going on its way to annoy the ever living shit out of you. I'm sorry, dude. I'm cursing too much for no reason. I need to stop that. I'm not stop cursing. Just I'm using a little bit too much of my vocabulary, and it's not a good thing. And well, it's not a good thing. It's kind of like a harsh way to say it. I guess it's not nice. It's not rude. It's a bit rude. If you use it like in day-to-day, everyday sentence. But yeah, welcome everyone. I'm Anyo, like you all know, and we are back with more Higurashi. Sorry that I got again so late like normal. I kind of got busy doing something else. I admit I was trying to do. I was watching something to get a review going. The movie was longer than I suspected. Also, I had to make dinner for someone, but no, that's me. I love my mother. But yeah, that's the reason why we got delayed. And I had to go wake up early tomorrow, so I won't still be able to record the stupid thing. Because the gods and the fates really just want to fuck me over and whenever I want to record something. And I promise I stopped cursing so much, but I'm not in a fun, really mood like that, if you can tell. I'm a little bit pissed off at myself and the world. But that doesn't matter now. We're here to play. We're gonna read a little bit of this book or novel, VN, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. You decide. And probably I'll go to like 10 o'clock. Oh, it's 8:30 for me. Yeah, we're gonna probably go for 10 o'clock because I don't really have the time to stay. But let's make the best of it as we can. Oh, and Spartacus versus Cog. Sorry for cursing so much. I get get like that sometimes when I'm a bit cranky. I wonder how much time has passed since I laid down. It was getting dark outside. My body was soaked in sweat. It would probably be a good idea to change my sheets. At that moment, the phone downstairs rang. It was probably Mom. My mom was quite the worrywart. Maybe she had called many times, but I just didn't notice it.
もしもし、前原ですけど。
お、生きてた。もしもーし。ミオンだけど。具合はどう？
ん？圭一のお友達ですか？圭一は休んでますけど。変わりましょうか？
あ、お父様で？すみません。
バカで引っかかってやがるよ。
てちゃん。
After our exchange, we both had a good laugh together. Except I was suspicious of her, even when we were laughing. Was everybody really involved in the incident? The fact that I can say no, that...
元気そうで安心したよ。
Oh, thank you, Neon.
レナもすっごく心配してたよ。サトコはざまあないですわって喜んでたな。リカちゃんは病気でかわいそうですってさ。
チェ、みんなで勝手に大盛り上がりしてたみたいだな。
まあまあ。でさ、ケイちゃん、お見舞いに行っちゃ都合悪いかな。
お見舞い？いいよ、そんな重病人ってわけじゃないんだから。
うちのバッチャが山ほどおはぎを作ってさ、お裾分けに持ってけって言ってんだよ。だから持ってくね。
おいおい、風が移っても知らねえぞ。
おじさんもレナもおバカさんだから大丈夫。じゃあね、すぐ行くから。
She hung up cheerfully. Rena's coming too? That's what it sounded like. I was still concerned about meeting Rena, but I guess if she was with Neon, it probably won't be that bad, right? It's just cute old Rena. I heard the doorbell ring 10 minutes later.
どんな感じ？
Mostly better.
ちゃんと薬飲んで寝てた？
Yep, just woke up.
そりゃもうしっかりとな。
元気そうでよかった。心配してたんだよ。
悪かったな。明日にはもう大丈夫だよ。
ちょっとお邪魔しようかと思ったけど、まだ本調子じゃないみたいだね。
そうか？
じゃあこれ、ケイチくん、みーちゃんのおばあちゃんが作ってくれたおはぎだよ。
あ、サンキューな。ミオンのばあちゃんによろしく伝えといてくれよ。
あ、その中にね、レナが作ったのも混じってるんだよ。ケイチくんに見つけられるかな？
これ、今日の部活を欠席したケイちゃんへの宿題ね。おはぎにアルファベットがついてるから、明日回答すること。
お見舞いなのか部活なのかどっちかにしろ。
元気元気。これなら明日は大丈夫そうだね。
この騒ぎで熱がぶり返したらどうしてくれんだよまったく。
みーちゃん、あんまり騒いじゃ悪いよ。もう行こう。お家の人にも怒られるよ。
そうだね。もう行こっかね。あ、そうそうケイちゃん。
なんだよ。
お昼
あ、
何食べた？
What did I eat for lunch? Neon. That's okay. Where's my? Okay, I just noticed how I'm still kind of a bit small. Let move myself up a little bit. Okay, so I'm sorry about that. What I had for lunch, I had a nice little sandwich, and I had some chicken, and nothing special, nothing special. Why do you ask? The same question startled me, and I went wide-eyed when I saw Mion. I never seen her like that. It was highly unsettling visage. But why is she asking me about what I eat for lunch? What she said was so insane, it was almost meaningless. When she said it, it was almost like she didn't even care at all about what I ate.
表で食べたよ。
She must suspected that I was Oshi-san. Anyway, I felt that if I hesitated or tried to change the subject, then they read too deep into it. So I tried answering as quickly as possible. Except contrary to the efforts I made, there was a pause before they replied.
ケイチくん、お昼は外食だったんだね。
No, that were those eyes. The glimmer from Rena's eyes had changed at some point as well. It was now sharp, as if to make me feel the feigned ignorance behind her words even more. As if she already knew that how it looked to me.
どう？美味しかった？
It was delicious.
なんでそんなことを聞くんだよ。
Mion was speaking in an unusually low tone, almost as if she knew that I had eaten at the restaurant in town. No, I'm overthinking this. I mean, both of them should have been in school at lunchtime. There's no way they could have known where I was.
渋いおじさまとご一緒だったみたいだけど。誰？
Here's my uncle. Flop. The package with the mochi I was holding slipped out of my hands. I could tell the blood had drained from my face, making me go pale.
へえ。ケイチくん、それ誰？ひょっとしてこの間の人かな？かな？
Stop doing that! I could feel the back of my throat going dry. This was no longer a bluff. They knew everything.
なんでそんなことわかるんだよ。
It took everything I had to finally force those words out of my throat. My knees were shaking.
さーてね。おじさんにわからないことはないからね。
Oh, okay. know. It's good to know. Mion's near knowingly, and her laugh seemed to carry on forever.
で、ケイちゃん、何のお話をしてたの？
We talked about a lot of things, a lot of town relationships, you know, normal guy stuff.
随分と熱くなってたみたいだけど。
No, it's guy stuff. Nothing you need to worry about.
みんなの話はしてないよ。ミオンともレナとも関係ない。
聞いてもないのにレナたちの名前が出るなんてなんだか怪しいな。
Rena's unwavering gaze pierced through my eyes and peered further inside me. I dug my own grave. My heart was throbbing so much it felt like it was going to explode.
ま、何を隠れてやろうとも、おじさんには全てお見通しってこと。
There's nothing to see here, nothing to see here.
それだけを忘れないでくれればいいかな。
I couldn't even shake my head. Took everything I had to stop my teeth from chattering. She never let her gaze break from mine, even as she tilted her head slightly.
ケイチくん、顔色悪いよ。もう横になった方がいいと思うな。
Yeah, I'll take that advice. I'll take that advice. I'll go lay down right now.
そうだね。私たちはもう帰ろう。
And nothing bad happened. They both giggled at each other and started making their way out. I had moved a muscle since I had dropped the package of mochi. As they left, the doors slowly closed behind them. All I could do was stare, as if I couldn't move until the door was completely closed. Just as the door was about to close, it opened again slightly, with a sudden creak, setting my heart racing once again. A single eye pierced through the slit, and Neon's happiest gaze peered at me once again.
じゃあね、ケイちゃん。
See ya, Mion.
あ、
明日、学校休んじゃ嫌だよ。
I hate if I miss it too. Thud. The door closed. I wasn't able to move a muscle even after their low laughter died off in the distance and silence once again enveloped the room. Coming back to my senses, the first thing I did was to lock the door. They knew what Oshi-san and I talked about. Why? How? No, that's not important. Thinking about it now, all of it could have been overheard from the beginning when Oshi-san met me. Just as Mion said, I couldn't hide anything. Then, what were they trying to tell me? That part was obvious. They were warning me not to say anything unnecessary. What did they deem unnecessary? I only talked with Oshi-san about one thing, and they were warning me that was unnecessary? What was it that Oshi-san talked to me about? The incidents involving Oyashiro-sama's curse that occurred every year weren't individual cases, but they were connected as a whole, as well as the fact that there may be multiple perpetrators hidden within Hinamizawa. No, more precisely, Mion, Rena, Satoko, and Rika-chan were all suspicious. Is that what they were warning me against?
何バカなこと考えてんだよ、俺。
I hit my own face hard enough that I let out a loud slap. If only that would wake me from this nightmare. But for some reason, felt like I was punching a blanket. It was almost laughably painless. Calm down, Keiichi Marabara. When did I become such a pessimist? Calm down, calm down. Settle down and sort things out. The real Mion I knew was eating lunch with Oshi-san was probably because somebody from Hinamizawa just happened to be there at the time. They must have told Mion that I was there. That made the most sense. Plus, come to think of it, she didn't ask me where I ate lunch, did she? She only asked, was it good? They were just curious since I was together with someone not from Hinamizawa. It's not as if they had an ulterior motive. That's it. That has to be it. Thinking about it that way, it was the same thing with Rina. I was just being strangely ambiguous about when I met with Oshi-san, and Rina was correcting me on that. That's when I was bewildered by the changing character from the usual mild-mannered Rina, and was just startled by it. That's the most natural way of thinking about it. It felt like my mind was mixed up in a tangled mess of spaghetti. Deep red marinara sauce would have been poured out of my nose and ears if you squeezed my head. Thinking that, I suddenly felt like vomiting. I really didn't want that to happen, so I stopped holding my head. Lately, I had no idea what anyone was saying. Spending time with them was fun. It didn't feel like there was any sort of hidden agenda. I really do think that they are a good bunch of people. When I just moved here and I couldn't make heads or tails of everything, they were really kind to me. Rina was really kind and always looking after me. As long as I was that strange affliction didn't rear its ugly head, she was really pretty cute. Mion was also a really good person. She didn't care about anyone's age or gender. She was optimistic and outgoing. I was never bored when I was with her. Talking about not getting bored, Rambunctious Satoko was a good person for that too. She was pretty bratty, but that was just the way she interacted with others. Rika-chan was the same. She didn't speak often, but that didn't mean she was always silent. They were my friends. But after hearing the better untold secrets about Hinamizawa from Oshi-san and Tomataki-san, oh, that was this noise. Yeah. I was told about Oichiro-sama's curse. Things started going crazy. Then hearing from Oshi-san that Mion, Rena, Satoko, and Rika-chan were all suspicious. After that, everyone changed. That's right. It all started getting weird after Oshi-san told me all about that strange stuff. At that time, I really should have just not listened to those weird stories. I shouldn't even have asked Tomataki-san about the past incidents on the night of Wachinagashi. If I just had gotten that strange sense of curiosity, if I just hadn't. That's right. So, that's why they killed Tomataki-san. That impotent outsider speaking to the likes of me after everybody went out of their way to keep it a secret from me. They probably killed Oshi-san as well for trying to unearth what everyone was warning me better left buried. Besides that, he was unforgivable for spewing words that made me doubt the others. Of course a guy like that is going to be killed. Both Tomataki-san and Oshi-san were nothing but outsiders after all. They were entities who couldn't coexist with the people of Hinamizawa. Those guys should have just followed the Oyashima-sama's curse and just died. It wasn't their fault. It was my fault for not being able to hold back my curiosity. It wasn't their fault. 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 I settled into a daze. It was a lethargic feeling that I had just gotten up. But the ominous chill that haunted me had subsided. I was fine now. I was no longer frightened. I completely recovered. I'll go to school tomorrow, right as rain. I'll greet everyone. I'll take part in club activities. It'll definitely be fun. It had to be fun. I was one of them after all.
あ、そうだ。おはぎ食べないと。
No, yes, eat the mochi. The mochi. You gotta eat the mochi.
どれがレナの手作りか当てないといけないんだよな。
You be able to tell. I remember the homework the two brought with them when they visited me. But wow, our club did delivery? That was something else. I picked up the package I dropped on the floor and headed into the living room. It would be nice, I guess, to have some tea with it. To fill my mouth with mochi while drinking tea. Oh, this was quite a delectable situation I was in. Opening up the newspaper wrapping, there was 5 plump red bean paste mochi fit snugly inside. There were letters written from left to right on the newspaper. A, B, C, D, and E. Now then, they said Rena made one of these. I wonder which one. There wasn't much difference in how they looked. They smelled and appeared about the same. This was a pretty difficult problem. The biggest difference was probably their shape. I wasn't sure what kind of person Mion's grandma was, but Rena had to be different from hers. Looking carefully, I could see one mochi was made very neatly. So well that, just by staring at it, one could tell it stood out.
この一個がレナのか否かが勝負の分かれ目みたいだな。
Calm down and think harder. Mion had said her grandma made a ton of them and was told to give some out, if I remember correctly. So that meant 4 of these were from that large batch. Then what about Rena? She probably only made 1, so she probably spent quite a bit of time on it. Meaning, the one Rena had made was this one, E. For a moment I thought it may have been a trap Mion laid as she knew I'd pick up on it. But that probably wasn't the case. I wouldn't be so sure if I knew Mion had made it. But since she said Rena made it, it probably wasn't a trap.
よし、
Yosh.
お茶も準備 OK。まずはディフェンディングチャンピオンのミオンのばあちゃんからだ。どれ？
Let's see. Not bad. The soft bean paste and soft chewy texture left a little to be desired. The tea I drank afterwards also accentuated the experience. This was quite an exquisite piece of work. Now, how about Rena's? The creation was so delicate. One would think it was a high-class Japanese dessert. Since I normally had quite the appetite, I was slightly worried about the size of the portion. But, well, first a bite. This was quite a difficult one to judge, actually. The ingredients were exactly the same, so there was little difference in flavor. What was different was how it was shaped at the end, so it was to be expected. So the defining factor would be presentation and volume? The well-formed and well-sized champion versus Rena, the challenger, the size you just couldn't get enough of. If only I had one bite of Rena's, I probably had to wait until I was done eating to make the decision. Maybe there was something hidden inside that could cause an upset. The chewing noises. You see, my prediction was right. My tongue touched something. Oh god. Here it comes. Here it comes. I didn't feel like something edible, so I reached in with my fingers and grabbed it. What? What was this? Before I could fully comprehend what it was, I threw away the rest of the mochi I was eating as fast as I could. It slammed against the wall, causing the bean jam to splatter. Then, after sticking for a moment, I slid down to the floor. I was dumbstruck by my own actions. What was I doing? Rena had gone out of her way to make it for me. How could I? Dumbstruck. I looked down at the hand that performed such a vile act. Then I remembered what I had taken out of my mouth. At first I thought it was a hair. Even though it was shorter than Mion's, Rena's hair was still quite long. And it wasn't this short. It was also a bit too hard to be hair. It was thick enough to roll around on my tongue. There was a bit of a metallic sheen on one end of it. Ah, yes. There was a hole for where thread goes through, like a sewing needle. Yes, that's right. It looked very much like a sewing needle. Exactly like one. The end was pointed as well, quite sharply. It really did look just like a sewing needle. Huh? What did I mean by look very much like a sewing needle? Just a bit ago, I couldn't answer. But a voice inside me already knew. It let me know by the chattering by molars together. I couldn't stave off the terror swelling up inside me. Suddenly, I tasted something metallic and felt a prickling pain at the back of my throat. I stuck my finger in the back of my mouth and felt around to see if I was bleeding. Suddenly, I felt the urge to vomit. The sharp taste of bile irritated the back of my throat. I collapsed both hands over my head and writhing in agony. I was somehow able to hold back the nausea. I was finally able to breathe again. Breathe normally. But this time my heart was throbbing intensely. Then it finally registered. Exactly what was mixed with the mochi. Before I could think of the correct word, my hands were already on the move. Splat! I tossed the rest of the mochi against the wall. The geometrical patterns of the scattered beam jam on the wall suddenly evoked a terrible omen in my mind. After looking away, I dashed out of the hall and flew upstairs to my room, where I stayed under my covers until morning. I clutched my own shoulders, howling madly in the mix of fear, anger, sadness, and frustration. This wasn't a threat or warning or reminder, nothing as simple as that. What had happened in Hinamizawa? What is happening in Hinamizawa? What happened? I didn't know the answer to any of those questions. Where did I break a taboo? Regardless, now Rena and Mion and the others, they considered me an enemy? And they thought I should just die? I won't let you kill me. Not for such a pointless reason. I fell into a restless sleep. I was crushed by my negative emotions. It was as if I was being drawn into a billowing, bottomless swamp. The end of the chapter. Oh god, the scene is so horrifying. It's not as grisly as... It's not as grisly as in the anime, but it's just so unsettling. Especially hearing all of Keiichi's thoughts. He feels like everyone's betraying him, turning against him.
単刀直入に自殺させる薬ってないんですか？
Is there?
直接的にはない。
遠回しですね。では間接的にはあるってことですか？
自殺したくなる精神状態を誘発することはできる。ちゅうことだ。
難しい言い方になりましたね。何ですかその自殺したくなる精神状態ってのは。
例えば一般的な心理学見地から言えばじゃが、心理面が内向状態から外向状態に転じるときに最も自殺が多いと言われちょる。
Clinical depression and bipolar disorders are different. Clinical depression indicates a prolonged state of depression, whereas bipolar disorder is characterized by a passive depressed state accompanied by a very active manic state.
内向状態の時は自信を喪失し非常に悲観的だ。だが自殺もせん。
I do not know anything about that. I will not make a comment.
自殺をする気力すらないからだ。
I did not make a comment because this game is pretty old and this information might be outdated. Especially this game, the game takes place in the 80s. Very difficult to hear me. Okay, thank you for letting me know. Let me see which one it is. And turn the game down just a bit. How about now? That all better? Or should the game go down just a bit more? And turn the microphone up too, just in case. There we go. Alright, just let me know that sounds better or worse.
逆の状態もまた自殺をせん。
Very good. I will not make a comment.
今度は逆に非常に自信過剰で行動的なので自らを順風満帆と思う。だから自殺などせんのだ。
なるほどね。
It was pretty interesting.
どっちの状態でも自殺をしないのに状態が入れ替わるときに自殺するんですか？
内向状態には自殺願望はあるが自殺という大仕事を遂げる気力すらもない。だが外向状態が始まると徐々に気力が充実し体の自由が利くようになってくる。
なるほど。 つまり自殺する気力が回復するわけですね。
そういうことじゃのう。だからこの時期に変な気を起こさんように処方箋を施すわけじゃな。
では富武氏はこの心理状態だったんですかね。
一般的に自殺はちゃんとした文化的な手法で行われる。道具を使用してな。自虐行動とは全く違うぞい。
You guys are you're getting kind of close to the mystery, but not quite, not quite.
富武氏の自殺は文化的じゃないですよね。ではやっぱり何かの中毒と考えるのが自然ですか。最初に言った自殺したくなる精神状態を起こす薬ってのを教えてください。
鎮痛薬の一部には心理を内向から外向に過剰転換させる効果があると報告されとる。それから催眠作用を持つ薬を異常摂取した場合にも異常行動が報告されとるがあまり一般的ではないの。
その2つは検視の報告だと違うみたいですね。他の可能性は
あとは病気しか考えられん。甲状腺異常を引き起こす病気にしばしばそれに似た症状が報告されとる。だがそれらは概して特徴的な症状が多い。仏は違うの。
もっと突発的に発生するものはありませんかね。今回のケースと合うような突発性で自殺したくなるようなやつです。
他にはそうじゃな。脳障害によって精神に異常を発生する状態じゃな。
I'm not sure that's the proper name for it, at least nowadays, but I know what he's talking about. Like, you get a spear through the brain, and there's the one case, like, this is one guy, he got, like, a spear through the brain, miraculously survived, but his whole personality shifted.
これは薬物中毒でも起こるが、脳の外傷や一部の病気なんかでも起こる。
つまり薬によらなくても異常な精神状態に陥る可能性があると。
仏は犯人に囲まれて命に危険が迫っとったんじゃろ。極度の緊張が続いて、それに分泌異常が重なって、さらに打ちどころが悪くて脳に障害が起こり自虐行動に走った。可能性もあるかもしれんの。
もうちょっと省略して言ってくれませんかね。
I'm a dumb detective. Talk simple to me.
つまり乱闘中に豆腐の角に頭ぶつけてそれで異常が発生したと言っとるんだ。
Kind of nasty way to be talking about the disease, the departed like that.
じゃあ星には殺意はなかったってことですかね。ちょいと小銭を巻き上げようと思ったらたまたま殴りどころが悪かったと。
Do pump men laugh hoarsely.
なんてわけはありませんね。
The game is still louder. Okay, so let me see which one is the game. Okay, let me just turn the mic back up a little bit more. Turn this down. And let's go into the game itself. Because I did turn it up pretty loud. Yeah, I turned it up really loud. So let me see it go a bit. Let's go like right there. Let's see how that works.
薬物の常用にせよ、精神的なものにせよ、仏の身元が鍵を握っとるぞい。そっちはどうなっとるんじゃ。
Do a little bit more. Get the sound effects a little bit high because they are good for story points. Get the music down a little bit more. Alright.
あら、こんな時間。そろそろ戻らないとクマちゃん怒っちゃいますね。
Oh, gotta go. Can't talk to you anymore.
おお、頑張れよ。いいお年をの。
いいお年を。
So that is a lot better. Okay. Yeah, because remember when I first started the stream, all the audio was bad. So I thought maybe if I just turn this up, it would be good. I guess. Okay, that was a little bit on my fault there.
おや今の皆さんは確か
Those guys just now.
議員バッジが2人いたっすね。
National Diet Badges.
じゃあ県議と市議の園崎だ。
Oh, Sanasaki's.
面
What
白
about
いっすね。
Sanasaki's?
親戚同士で県議と市議やってんすか。
これがずるいんですよ。お互いの名前で慈善運動バンバン。片方の選挙中にはもう片方が別に講演会を開いて二重に選挙運動やってんですよ。
Pretty smart. Pretty smart. Also kind of dirty.
堂々と。
よくわかんないんすけど、それって公選法違反じゃないんすか？
I don't know. How do Japanese elections work?
慈善運動にならない限り政治活動は無制限ですからね。クマちゃん、そんなんじゃ選対本部好きになった時大変ですよ。公選法くらいは勉強してください。
How about you just tell me?
俺、知能犯化は無理っす。バカですから。
Hey, at least he knows it. There was prefectural assembly member of Sanasaki and city councilor of Sanasake. Also, the mayor of Hinamizawa. So, they're all influenced by the Sanasaki family. What crap.
お見送りしてんのは副所長とうちの課長っすね。
It came to me. That night, when the department chief invited me along to get some Odin, I forgot how to pronounce that. I thought that was it.
大石さんは友達多いから聞いてるかもしれないけど、聞いてるかな。
Connections about what?
何も。
お母さん、ガモにはんぺん頼みます。所長のとこに
That
議
sounds
員の
pretty
怒
good.
鳴り込みがあったんだよ。
Fish cake. I think I had fish cake. I think I had fish cake once, but that was like a long time ago.
あれま、そうなんですか。あ、お母さん、私にもう一杯ください。
Prefectural Assembly member Sanasaki and City Councilor Sanasaki were both intimidating. What our snot-nosed career police chief couldn't handle being yelled out by them. They're like Yakuza.
ひなみ沢事件の捜査の仕方で君を指名して陳情してきたよ。
ありゃ、私はてはて。
とぼけるなよ。例のひなみ沢の過去の事件。
Well, to be fair, the cases are strange.
蒸し返してるだろ。
私、富武殺しで手一杯でそんな余裕ないですよ。ね。
本当に？本当にそうならいいんだけどさ。
God, he sounds old and tired. There was a period of silence. While we were silent, we made headway on our food and drink.
いやー、ごちそうになっちゃいました。今月は負けっぱなしだったんで財布つらかったんですよ。助かりました。
いや、いいよ。また馬教えてよ。
Got me a good horse again.
大石さんと同じ馬を買うから。
Don't pick on gambling.
最近はダメです。馬の声がさっぱりですから。タクシー。
I'm going by train. The department chief is taking taxi. I have my own car, but I'd be rash to drive it home. Okay, he's a little drunk. Can't blow it right before retirement with it. I was right. Even though he could still rattle off, it looked like his legs were already jelly. Pushing him into the cab, I gave the driver the department chief address.
ではではまた明日。良いお年を。
大石さん、
はいはい。
Yeah?
過去の事件は全部個別に終わってる。縦に並べるのはやめるんだよ。
How is Oshi the only one seeing all these cases are weird? 5 years straight. One person disappears, one person died on the same night. This is more than just coincidences.
村の連中は半ば本気でタタリを信じてるんだから。
私だってタタリなんか信じちゃいませんよ。
大石さんは来年で退職じゃないですか。
Yep. Got 1 year left to retirement.
退職金でローン返してお母さんと北海道に引っ越すんじゃなかったっけ？
ばあ様がどうしても生まれの北海道に帰りたいって泣くんですよ。最後のご奉公なんですよ。退職金はまあ歓楽街で楽しむことにします。
Entertainment district.
な。
所長は退職時特別昇給を見直すかもってさ。
Public servants payment is calculated based on their monthly salary when they retire. So a special promotion of 2 pay grades is given before retirement. This tops up the employment servants payment. That tends to be how it's done around here. Of course, it's not exactly a commendable custom. Incidentally, the difference that 2 pay grades makes to the payout is quite significant.
さすがインテリの若所長は言い出すことが模範的です。でもまあ、私たちの給料が血税で支払われてることを思えば、まあ時代の流れですからね。
Yeah, taking it straight from the Sanzakis. It certainly wasn't a laughing matter, but I'll laugh through it. Anyway.
僕も模範的なこととは思わないよ。でもまあ、大石さんはそれだけの退職金をもらってもおかしくない活躍をしてきたからさ。僕としてはぜひもらってほしいんだよ。
Well, thank you.
もらえるもんならそりゃ欲しいですけどね。
もらえるよ。大石さんが大人なら。
This man being an adult about something?
運転手さん、引き止めてすみませんね。お願いします。
Driving will carry his meters running. Close the door thoroughly. I closed the door roughly, interrupting the department chief's conversation a bit rudely. Looked like he still had something to say, but he just smiled and wearily and waved. I waved in return. The cab sped off gradually and soon disappeared among the sea of lights. Oh! Oshi! Get back from the camera.
参ったな。ローン返済できるかな。
I will pay the loan. Get away from my screen. Okay, those were interesting, but didn't really add that much to the main story. Let's see if we can finish another chapter or 2 for the night. Oh. The sound of muffled footsteps stopped in front of the door to my room. A moment of silence, as if whomever they belonged to was ascertaining if I was inside. Did I just hear footsteps? No. Of all the things I should have been doing, I continued on with my restless slumber. It is very much conscious of my body hadn't caught up yet. Even with danger bearing down on me from just beyond the door, it was as if I was completely paralyzed, unable to move. Without a doubt, this was sheer terror. Please, just leave. Hey, Why isn't my body awake yet? If they came into my room right now, then... You okay there, boy? I sprung to my feet and threw my covers at my mom, who was opening the door.
何ケイチどうしたの
he had a little bit of nightmare. He had a bit of a nightmare.
あ、寝ぼけてた。
I thought it was still 1 or 2 a.m., but the sun was already streaming through the gap between the curtains. It felt nothing like morning. Yesterday, I must have fallen asleep right after that, and I should have gotten a full 10 hours of rest. But it didn't feel like that at all. My internal clock was completely screwed up and my sense of balance felt off. I felt feverish enough that it was clear to me that I was still not well.
どうケイチ体の調子はどう
I'm feeling okay.
学校行けそう
Can I make it to school? I don't really want to. I don't really want to go to school. Who even needs school right now? I felt far from well enough. No, I wasn't mentally fit to go. I was still plagued with terror from yesterday. If I had swallowed that needle, what would have happened? Or what if it had pierced my tongue? Ugh, God. Ugh. I can't even think about... Ugh. I can imagine right now in my throat and just, I can't do it. There was undoubtedly a murderous intent, but I don't think that was it. That was all it was. If they really wanted to kill me, then there were no other, more certain way to do it. They wouldn't resort to such a dubious method as if me swallowing a needle. Meaning, I didn't want to believe it, but going that far was just a threat from Rena and Mion. Aren't you glad you didn't die? But next time we'll use a more assured method. Like that. Something like sending a letter with a razor inside would have been a joke compared to this.
ちゃんと病院は行った
Yeah, Mom.
お薬は飲んだの
うん。まあ一応。
Something about my mom's dubious gaze bothered me. She seemed more concerned about her son missing 2 days of school rather than him being sick. It was definitely mental fatigue. I wasn't really physically ill.
一度生活のリズムを崩すとなかなか戻らないんだからさあ起きて起きて
She's not wrong, but...
病は気からって言うのよ
Once again, you're not wrong, but I'm pretty sure our boy looks awful. I heard that line many times before. I was given an award in elementary school for having perfect attendance. But it wasn't like I was healthier than everyone. And that's kind of like me too. Like, I had like perfect attendance in middle school. And not middle school, like in elementary school. But once I got to middle and high school, no. Especially high school. Those like first 2 years, I missed as many days as I could. I couldn't stand it.
ささ顔洗ってらっしゃい
Go wash your face.
ご飯はもうできてるわよもうレナちゃんが来るまであまり時間がないわよ
Can I just walk by myself today? Mom's tone meant I couldn't argue about it, so I had to give up on skipping a second day.
そうそう今の壁にボタモチを投げつけたのはケイチダメよあんなことしちゃ
You didn't find a needle by the chance?
お父さん怒ってたわよ
I didn't feel particularly guilty for doing that. We're doing it. So I didn't have much of a reaction. Also, Mom didn't question me any further about it. She headed back downstairs after she was certain I was getting up. But Mion said as she left yesterday, "I hate if you miss school tomorrow." Came back and dwelled in back of my mind. What did she mean by that? I didn't even have to really think about it. She was saying, "Don't be absent." Taking that a bit further, it was the same as her saying I should just go about living my life as if nothing happened. If I showed any signs of acting unusual, it would probably result in them making their move. If I acted differently, someone like Oshi-san, for example, might end up noticing that something is up. Meaning, if I didn't watch my mouth, or did anything differently from normal. In effect, it would end up communicating something to those who are undesirable. And it seemed that was something that the girls didn't intend to forgive. So, if it just went along as normal, no harm would come to me. Was that how it was going to be? All that misery I experienced up until yesterday would almost creepily just fade away? It was an enticing ideal. Just by forgetting everything I've seen or heard these last few days, I'd be able to keep living on like normal.
そんな虫のいい話あるわけ?
I swallowed hard. Once again, deliberated on the idea that I just rejected. Mion was probably a good person who had her friends at heart. She was giving me, who had mistakenly broken some rule of theirs, a chance. Was what I did really so unforgivable? But Mion had given me another chance. She was saying if I just forgot everything and kept living on like I had been, I'd be forgiven.
Keiichi! ご飯冷めちゃうわよ。急いで降りてらっしゃい。早くしないとレナちゃんが来ちゃうわよ。
あ、今行くよ。
I crammed my textbooks into my bag and hastily made my way downstairs. Yeah, we can do this. Hey, the bean base been cleaned up. I picked up my somewhat bland breakfast. It seemed that I didn't have much time. It was really past when I usually met with Rena. Given yesterday's events, she'd probably be here in the next 5 minutes. I needed to be ready to head to school by then. Had to forget everything that happened the past 2 days. Forget it all and return to my normal life. For this to be normal, I'll have to be where I normally meet up with Rena. Today of all days, the rice was dry and hard to get down. Oh god, she's here. I jumped at the sound and dropped my chopsticks. That chime signaled that Rena had arrived. Mom hurried me along.
ほら、レナちゃん来ちゃったわよ。
Okay.
急いで急いで。
My mother's merry smile and my gloomy face were polar opposites. Honestly, I was reluctant to see Rena, who was waiting there on the other side of the door. The Rena on the other side. Was it the Rena I knew? I couldn't keep her waiting. I need to do things as usual. Hiya! Integrating greeting fluttered in across the doorway.
ケイチ君、遅かったから来てみたけど、今日はどうかな？
If you keep being nice and sweet as usual. The manner in which Rena was concerned was, without doubt, the Rena I knew. but that was probably only if I know the word. Why won't my mouth say it? Forget everything from yesterday. Pretend as though nothing had happened. Forget about the gruesome dismemberment. Forget about the mysterious deaths that happened the following years. Forget about the people falling to their deaths, and the terminal illnesses, and the self-deletions, the fatal beatings, and the disappearances. Forget it. Forget all of it. Forget that Rina and Mion were scary. Of course, forget it all. Forget about all of it. Forget about the mochi, too. Forget. Rina was once again asked to make sure.
学校行けそう？
ああ、大丈夫だよ。
よかった。
Aww!
じゃあ行こう。みーちゃん待ってるよ。
Ah, hit the wrong side again. Rina showed me her usual bright smile. I couldn't find any hint of deceit in her expression. My nervousness dissipated, giving way to relief.
なのにさとこちゃんね、絶対にできるって意地になっちゃって。
Oh no, what does Sadako do now? As we were walking, Rina had talked about a lot of different stuff. More so than usual.
それで？
それで？
さとこちゃん不吉祥だから何度やってもできないの。はう、かいかったんだよ。
Sadako clumsy? She is pretty clumsy. She can be clumsy. Not with her traps, though. Everything Rina talked about was just silly nonsense, so I just replied ever so often and laughed from time to time. It was a rather laid-back conversation. We passed by one of our neighbors, and they called out to us.
あれ？ケイチちゃんにレナちゃん。今日はちょっと遅いんじゃないの？ミオンちゃん先に行くって言ってたわよ。
ああ、みーちゃん怒ってるかな？怒ってるかな？早く行こう、ケイチくん。
Let's run! After greeting our neighbor with a smile, Rina turned back to me and poked her tongue out. Not expecting that. I couldn't help but crack a smile.
あ、ケイチくん笑った。
なんだよ。
Rina stopped and stared at me.
ケイチくん、今朝もなんか元気なかったから、まだ風邪が治らないのかなって思ってたけど、大丈夫みたいだね。だね。
I'm fine. With a grin, she gently poked my cheek. It was a bright, sincere smile. Hey, Keiichi Marabara. How can you still doubt Rina after she shows you a smile like that? Maybe I just have a high fever up until today. And I imagined everything that I thought happened because I was bedridden and delirious. I really hoped that was the case. If God would grant me just one wish. There was only one thing that I wished for. I would want what would happen in the past few days. More specifically, from the night of the Onikakushi up until last night, I wanted all of that to have never happened. I wonder how many times I wished for these past few days. As long as Rina kept on smiling like this, I think it might just become reality. So I wanted Rina to keep on smiling. Keep on smiling.
で、ケイチくん、
Yep.
昨日のおはぎ、ちゃんと食べてくれた？
Oh god. I had a few. The vein of that vain wish of mine was instantly shattered. My heart began palpitating. The relaxed morning mood suddenly became frigid. Rina's smile was the same as usual. Her eyes were gentle as usual. Was mochi yesterday? Did you eat them all? Of course, she was asking the question at face value. In other words, Rena was asking, did you get the message? She's probably trying to convey that. I was reluctant to give an answer. Rena stopped walking and stared deeply into my eyes. Don't hesitate, Keiichi Marabara. Rena was acting the same as always, wasn't she? I needed to respond in my usual way. Naturally, of course. But both my throat and my mouth had gone dry and my lips were stuck together. Hurry and answer, Keiichi. Not that much time had passed. I could still keep the conversation going naturally. I had to say something quickly. Rena playfully mimicked what I said when I finally squeaked something out. Rena's reaction was still normal. It seems that there wasn't as long a pause as I thought. Somehow I finally squeaked the rest out. Oh, I heard that word for delicious. However, my strained efforts neither sullied nor brightened Rena's expression. For a moment, I panicked, thinking I had replied incorrectly. But after a few moments, Rena broke into her usual soft smile and giggled with a joyful voice that seemed to echo through the morning air. Being strung along by that laugh, I couldn't help but laugh as well. My timid smile froze again. Did you make it without swallowing the sewing needle? That's what she was asking. If I had swallowed it, then I wouldn't be here.
いや、全部は食べきれなかったからさ。まだ残ってるんだよ。
I was scared out of my wits. But that's how I played it.
あれれ？どれがレナが作ったのか当てる宿題はどうなっちゃったのかな？
Oh no.
あの宿題って今日までだったっけ？
うん、今日までなんだよ。姉ちゃん怒るよ。きっと罰ゲームだね。
Not a penalty game. Not a penalty game. We both laughed at each other. To a casual observer, it was just a typical morning. If I could just let myself believe, then even if I think it was just the usual morning routine. But I was certain I wasn't mistaken. There was something unimaginable buried beneath the facade of this giggling Rena. No, we're not lying. We're not lying. We're not lying. I recalled that unexpectedly piercing voice that I could hardly believe came from Rena's mouth. The moment that image crossed my mind, I felt a cold sweat trickle down my back. Was it only that particular time that something evil had possessed Rena? No, that was wrong. That was still Rena. Oshi-san told me, didn't he?
実は調べてみたら、竜宮さんは引っ越しの少し前に学校で謹慎処分を受けているんですよ。なんでも学校中のガラスを割って回ったんだとか。
She just trying to get some fresh air. Those eyes. Those eyes. She's staring. She wants my soul. No matter how pleasantly she smiled, that fact would not change. But I couldn't even imagine how she looked as she broke all the glass throughout the school. One thing I knew was that it wasn't something spur of the moment. If it was some sudden outburst of anger, then maybe she'd break a pane or two. But she broke all the windows throughout her school. Just imagine going through your own school, breaking the windows with a bat. Swinging full force at each pane of glass, one after another. Pain, no need to the flying shards. Your classmates aghast, unable to move in the sudden turn of events. I wonder where you have found the most windows lined up in a row. Probably the hallway. Walk, wind up, smash. Walk, wind up, smash. It was difficult for me to connect that horrifying image with the Rena smiling at me right now. But I had just imagined it. Impossible. It was unimaginable. That naive way of thinking no longer worked. That unpleasant piercing sound of shattering glass. The crunching noises Rena treads across the broken shards, walking towards me. Rena's classmates going pale as they forget to even breathe. I wonder what they did as Rena came closer, breaking windows along her path. They earnestly tried to bring her to her senses by saying something. Or did they jump at her, trying to stop her savagery? Or did they run into the staff room to call for the teachers? Probably none of those. In the face of that blood-curdling sight of Rena bursting through window after window, undoubtedly all they could do was silently clear a path for her. Dumbfounded, they just clearing the path for Rena to continue. It would be cruel to blame anyone for looking the other way. No, they weren't simply looking the other way. They knew it was the only way they could protect themselves. If they had done something different from the rest, they may have suddenly found themselves at Rena's new target. What would Rena have done to whoever attracted her attention? The answer is obvious. She would have undoubtedly acted according to her whims. Meaning I would, be the next window. Rena, staring into my eyes, shards of glass crunching and crackling underfoot as she drew closer. I was also drawn into her eyes, paralyzed. Then Rena struck me with a bat over and over again, like I was one of those windows. I crunched down on the floor, desperately protecting my head. Rena didn't care it was my head or my back. Ceaselessly, she hit me again and again. What kind of expression was she making as she was doing this over and over again? I peered up to see. Her expression was indifferent. It was completely unnerving. It's because no matter how many times she struck me, I didn't make a pleasant sound as the other windows. She struck me continuously, over and over again. The sound Rena wanted didn't come out. Our classmates standing around didn't try to stop her. They didn't want to be the next window. Somebody save me. Turning a blind eye unless we were hanging out. But of course, everyone in class scrambled to obtain the highest standardized test scores. They again gained nothing from saving a cram school tryhard like me. Eventually, there would be a faint sound, similar to when you crack open a walnut, and some sort of reddish-black spray would shoot out. Anyway, it wasn't that Rena momentarily lost herself in her anger. After focusing myself to breathe and calming down my heart, I recall what Oshi-san told me.
でですね、そのカウンセリングをした医師のカルテにレナさんの会話内容が記載されているんですがね、その中に出てくるんですよ。結構
何がです？
出てくるんですよ。お社様って単語が。
Following that, Rina was suspended and had regular examinations at the hospital. Then, as Rina was undergoing counseling, she said it over and over. Oh, Yashiro-sama.
お社様っていう幽霊みたいなものがですね、夜な夜な自宅にやってくるっていうんですよ。枕元に立って自分を見下ろすんだって。
That was only a piece of their conversation, so I still couldn't see the big picture. But it was by no means a happy little conversation. Then what Rina did? Was he saying that ghastly incident was the result of her being possessed by Oyashiro-sama? Up until now, I didn't want to believe in Oyashiro-sama's curse. That's why I wanted to say the mysterious deaths every year happened because of some sort of conspiracy. Every time I talked with Oshi-san, I was more certain that the deaths were the work of men and not some curse. Except if it was people perpetrating the incidents, my friends were somehow deeply connected. If I refused to believe that the curse was real, then I would have to believe those who acted the kindness to me were deeply involved in the incidents. Why? How? For what reason? Was Rina? Was everybody? It was much more painful and troublesome than accepting that it was just Oyashiro-sama's curse. In the aftermath, Rina had admitted to her doctor that it was because she was possessed by Oyashiro-sama. I felt a strange sense of relief from that. So, that's how it was. There wasn't a second side to Rina. She did that because she was possessed by something strange like Oyashiro-sama. It wasn't Rina's fault. Oyashiro-sama was the one to blame. I knew. This was all backwards. Refusing to believe there was a curse, I wanted there to be a human perpetrator. Now that my close friends were the ones under suspicion, I changed my beliefs at my own convenience, saying it was Oyashiro-sama's curse to blame. Which was better? Choice. Accepting that Oyashiro-sama's curse exists, or that Rina and the rest of them were deeply involved in the strings of mysterious deaths. I didn't want to think about it. If I just didn't think about it, I'd be able to continue the same as always. I wanted to believe that. But that was no longer possible. I received their message. It was pathetic of me to try and bend the meaning to my own convenience. Regardless of whether my opponent were a human or a curse, I won't let it kill me. As if I would just bend over and give in, for no good reason at all.
ケイチ君
Hey, Rina.
さっきから変な顔してる。なんでだろう
Inhaling sharply upon hearing Rina's voice, I came back to my senses. Before I realized it, we were already at the entrance. Shaking my head a few times, I exorcised all those terrifying thoughts. No matter how you looked at it, there's no way Rina would have done such terrible things. It was like I was trying to placate myself. Oh god, a trap, isn't it? It was a trap from Satoko. As I slid the door open, a blackboard eraser loaded with a chalk dropped down on my head the moment I stepped into the classroom. The chalk dust went into my eyes, inducing a brief moment of agony.
ずる休みの圭一さんにはお似合いですことよ。圭一もレナもおはようございますです。おはよう、さとこちゃんにリカちゃん。
Not quite in the mood for it, I didn't really react to Satoko's trap. Satoko braced herself as I passed by, expecting me to attack her. She seemed a bit disappointed as I simply walked by silently.
何なんですの？張り合いがありませんわ。
Aww.
圭一、まだ本調子じゃないみたいです。
She's so upset. She's gotten used to their little squabbles. They're so cute.
うん。だから、今日は加減してあげて、ね。
Suddenly, there was a slap down on my shoulder. It hurt a bit.
よっ、ケイちゃん、しっかり休んできた？
It was Mion. My mind was full with the stuff about Rina, but Mion was also a party of interest. Remember Keiichi, that hawkish gaze from yesterday.
ああ、おはよ
なんだなんだ。ずいぶんと覇気のない挨拶じゃん。差し入れのおはぎ、ちゃんと食べてくれなかったの？
I'm like this because I ate them. Those words were itching to be blurted out.
う。やっぱ食欲がなくてさ。いくつかは食べたけど、だいぶ残しちゃったんだ。
あれ、じゃあ宿題は？どれがレナの手作りかってのの回答は？
圭一くん宿題忘れなんだって。
ありゃー。じゃあ仕方ないね。罰ゲーム。
No, no. Flashing a lurid smile, Neon returned to her seat. There was nothing from our exchanges that would cause our classmates to suspect anything was amiss. But of course, anyone listening to our conversation up until this morning wouldn't see anything suspicious. That was why it was so frightening. They acted in a way that, regardless of whatever happened to Keiichi Marabara, no one would ever suspect them. The fact had me terrified. Soon the teacher came. As she asked about how I felt and took attendance, another dull, ordinary day began. Alright, and that's the end of the chapter. And let's see, I want to see how long have we been streaming for. 1 hour and 33 minutes. And I said I was going to stop around 10. I hate this. I hate they started so late. We didn't only finish like only 2 chapters. Let me think. Yeah, probably I shouldn't push it. I probably should go to sleep early. If I play this, because I still have everything to do. If I keep playing this, I'm just gonna put that off. Yeah, I probably should just end the stream now. It sucks because I didn't want to, but you know, there's a certain thing called responsibilities. Yeah, I don't really like them, but you know, you got to deal with them. All right, let's turn the cicadas off before I claw my own throat out. But yeah, thank you everyone for popping up, even just for a little bit. I highly appreciate it. So tomorrow I'm going to try to get back here on early. I'm going to try to do like 7, like I promise. Great stream today. Thank you though very much. Even with the awful beginning. But yeah, tomorrow we're gonna try to get here at 7, like I try to all the time. We're gonna be doing Hades, and like it's gonna be like this. It's gonna be a short stream. But for next week, I haven't made the schedule for next week, but I do know on Monday it's just gonna be a chatting stream. So we're gonna let's watch a couple of videos together, chat and hang out. We're gonna mostly be watching the Danganronpa abridged, since we just finished the game. I want to watch the abridged series with you guys before we start game number 2. All right. So yeah, I'm just gonna sign off really quickly. Have a great night, everybody. If it's still in the morning for you or evening, have a great rest of your day. But if you're going to sleep, have some amazing nightmares. And I will see you all tomorrow. Bye bye.